You wake up on a Monday morning, your salary arrives exactly on time, your bills are covered, and nothing feels financially wrong, yet somehow nothing is meaningfully improving either. My name is Jack, and I have spent over 10 years helping people navigate financial decisions, and one of the most overlooked patterns I see is how a stable income can slowly become a system that limits long-term wealth without ever appearing dangerous. At first glance, stability looks like success because income is predictable, expenses are manageable, and risk feels controlled, which creates a psychological state where financial urgency disappears and is replaced by quiet comfort. This comfort is not dramatic, it does not feel like a mistake, and that is exactly why it becomes difficult to question, because the system seems to be working even when it is not progressing. The core issue begins with how human behavior adapts to consistency, because when income becomes reliable, the brain gradually shifts from growth-oriented thinking toward maintenance-oriented thinking, where the goal is no longer expansion but preservation of the current lifestyle. Over time, small upgrades begin to appear: slightly better housing, more convenient services, improved daily comforts, and each of these changes feels reasonable in isolation, yet together they form a structure where expenses rise in alignment with income without deliberate intention. If we look at the math, the effect becomes clearer, because wealth is not built from income alone, but from the gap between income and long-term invested capital. When income increases but expenses follow closely behind, the surplus available for compounding remains small, and even though earnings may grow, the actual engine of wealth accumulation does not significantly accelerate. A person earning more can still remain in the same financial position if the proportional surplus does not expand. This creates a subtle trap where stability reinforces itself because predictable income encourages predictable behavior, and predictable behavior reduces the likelihood of taking calculated risks that could change financial trajectory. The system becomes self-sustaining, not in a way that builds wealth, but in a way that maintains equilibrium, where progress feels present in lifestyle but absent in net worth growth. Historically, similar patterns can be observed in structured economic systems where consistent output led to stable but limited advancement, because without pressure or variability, systems tend to optimize for efficiency rather than expansion. Individuals within those systems often experienced reliability without significant upward movement, which mirrors the modern experience of stable salaried environments. The psychological shift is subtle but important because identity begins to align with stability itself, where being financially responsible becomes associated with avoiding disruption rather than creating growth, and over time, this identity makes it harder to step outside of the system even when opportunities appear. None of this suggests that stable income is negative, but it highlights that stability without intentional allocation can quietly cap financial outcomes because the absence of volatility also often means the absence of acceleration. Wealth, in most cases, is not a result of consistency alone, but of how effectively consistency is converted into scalable assets. When viewed this way, the question is not whether income is stable, but whether stability is being used as a foundation for growth or as a comfortable endpoint, because the same system that protects you from financial stress can also prevent meaningful financial expansion if left unexamined. And in many cases, the most limiting financial systems are not the ones that feel risky, but the ones that feel completely safe.